Motorcycles, the boss, explosions,
I guess the boss's
tits,
bad boy reputation
ass?
wasn't enough to lift this lackluster show from the brink, and
What?
Fox failed on.
Wow, wait, how many people? What? 34 minutes? How many fucking shows were canceled after one episode?
I went through every TV show that got canceled after just one episode and put them all into an iceberg chart with the most commonly known ones at the top, and the farther down we go on the iceberg, the more obscure and strange things get. Let's dive in. Tier 1. The Debbie King Show premiered on the short-lived channel ITV Play, which was a 24-hour network that aired interactive game shows where the audience could call in and participate. A neat idea that was overshadowed by pretty slimy tactics. Viewers were charged at least 75 pence per call to participate, and they were charged even if their call was not put through to the studio. At peak times, they only had a 1 in 8,500 shot of their call getting through to play. Then, the channel was found guilty of breaching broadcasting code for making answers to questions too obscure. Viewers complained when the question, "What items might be found in a woman's handbag?" had the answers balaclava and raw plugs. Raw plugs? The shows on this network were really in no rush either. It took 3 minutes for us to get the fill-in-the-blank answer to this. The Debbie King Show aired on March 5th, 2007, which coincidentally was the same day that ITV announced the channel would be suspended while they were being audited. 1 week later, ITV Play permanently shut down, and that was the end of that.
Oh,
Barstool Van Talk was a collaboration between Barstool Sports and ESPN. The hosts of Barstool Van Talk have a podcast called Pardon My Take, and the connection between the podcast and ESPN is interesting, maybe even a little awkward.
When we started that podcast, the first thing that happened was we got a cease and desist from this very network.
The first episode had a real outsider vibe to it, like, what if those guys you know from college snuck into ESPN headquarters? Scott Van Pelt comes on.
God, this looks awful. Holy shit.
Like he's been taken hostage, but I guess that's part of the charm. ESPN2 canceled Barstool Van Talk after 1 episode aired following protests from ESPN employees over the perceived misogynistic nature of Barstool's content. Van Talk's host Big Cat said after the cancellation, "We're very disappointed. There's no sugarcoating it. It fucking sucks. But look on the bright side. Maybe they got to keep the van."
It was a pretty awesome looking van, I guess.
Starred Hugh Jackman. It was a CBS musical based on the BBC series Blackpool. It's weird. I don't know what else to say. Please allow me to introduce myself. Being that it's a musical, characters would spontaneously break into song, which is fine, but they also play the
They must have filmed more than one
vocals
episode,
and
though.
everything right
So
on
why
top
cancel
of
it?
So it ends up feeling like we're watching a rough draft that they weren't supposed to air.
God,
Doesn't help that
mouth.
the characters singing and the original vocals are never perfectly synced up. I'm watching and waiting for it to happen like a sneeze that never comes. But believe it or not, the musical numbers weren't the big flop here. Majority of the negative reviews criticized the plot, the dialogue, and the acting, so basically everything about this was bad. CBS canceled the series a few days after airing 2 episodes, which was still longer than Australia's 9 network gave it, who canceled the show after just 1 episode. Hugh Jackman's career would never pan out. The Hasselhoffs was an A&E reality series.
Oh, wait, I know this one.
With the main storyline revolving
This got canceled after 1 episode?
Their quest for pop stardom. The subject matter was just kind of but the production
finally one I know.
is also just kind of
Come on down here.
Traffic jam was 10 miles long. And I can't stop.
This could have been the next
My
Kardashians.
daughter's kind of glad that the show got canceled. No disrespect. I just know I wouldn't come out of a show like this without feeling embarrassed by my teenage self. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a silver lining here. The first 2 episodes aired back to back on the same night, and 5 days later, the network confirmed that the Hoff was off, likely due to
man.
In 1996,
Hey, little throwback to David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff. Oh my God, David Hasselhoff's best moment. This is a classic. I misspelled his name dreadfully. Eat the burger! Come on, David. Eat the goddamn burger. His SpongeBob roll is second to this. Battle boy.
So Dad, are you gonna do your show tomorrow? You promise me? You're gonna get alcohol? Don't get alcohol. Don't get alcohol, because you see what it's doing to you?
Sounds like Will Ferrell in Old School after he gets tranked.
You're on the floor.
When this happened, it was actually big news.
What?
This is a mess.
Oh, David, you're ruining the burger. I haven't seen this in so fucking long.
So, Dad, you need to promise me you're not going to get alcohol tonight, okay?
What?
You need to promise me you're not going to get alcohol tonight.
What?
Okay?
Oh?
Because if you get alcohol tonight, you're fired from your show tomorrow. And the doctor is coming over here in the morning to check your alcohol level. And if you have any alcohol in your system, you're going to be fired from the show.
This is probably not the time to remind him of that. He is eating a burger off of a bathroom floor, I think.
I'm saying.
Huh?
Who said?
Jan. I just talked to her, and she just called the manager of the show, and they said that tomorrow, if when they the doctor's coming over and they put any alcohol in your blood, you're fired from the show.
And the bits
they thought they're not
necromancy.
coming tonight because you'd be fired from the show. The doctor's coming early in the morning, and if you have any alcohol in your system, you're fired from the show. Okay?
Okay.
When was this? Was this like 2008? Oh my god, it goes on for 6 minutes.
Stop. Tell me you're going to stop.
Fuck you. You don't look good in my life.
What?
Well, that was sad.
I don't feel alive.
Yes, you do.
I'm bullshit.
What do you mean? What do you expect me to do? Come up here on the days that I have school? You chose to come out here. I didn't choose to come out here.
Well, I was just getting really sad. I don't remember any of
As
this.
much as I can.
It's the worst burger ever.
I have SAT. I come up here. There's nothing I can do. I changed my schedule around because of you. Don't tell me that I don't give a shit. Being an asshole right now. And do you know why? Because you drank. And tomorrow morning you're going to regret everything that you've ever told me.
This is so sad.
And you're going to feel horrible.
I don't have you.
What do you mean you don't have me?
I don't have you.
Of course you have me.
No, I don't.
What do you mean? You
this is just fucking. I just remember eating a goddamn burger off the floor. I didn't remember that latter half there. Jesus, that got heavy. But yeah, that's his best role. I wonder if that made the reality show.
Stephen Bochco created a sitcom spin-off of NYPD Blue called Public Morals, which has a tagline threatening viewers that anything you laugh at can and will be used against you. Maybe there was hope that the fans of the successful drama would be hankering for a comedic twist. With an ambitious crossover, they brought John Irvin, a character from NYPD Blue, into Public Morals. The original pilot was scrapped because of vulgar language, but even a second attempt at the pilot wasn't enough to get it right, and the whole series was scrapped after only being on air for
Never heard of it.
And when Public Morals was canceled, the John Irvin character returned to NYPD Blue as it continued for another decade through 2005. Good for them. The Herman Cain Show was a conservative talk show on Newsmax TV, hosted by Republican presidential candidates.
Because of that smile, yeah, I remember that.
One episode was produced before Cain contracted COVID-19, then passing away the next month. Cain vocally opposed mask mandates throughout the pandemic and was famously seen attending a Trump rally in Tulsa, tweeting about how he's pretty stoked that masks won't be mandatory for the event. After his passing, Herman Cain's Twitter account remained active, continuing to post tweets about the coronavirus. The tweet was later deleted, and it left some folks wondering if Cain was sending these tweets from the afterlife, and if he has strong enough Wi-Fi to continue hosting his show from there too. Back with the X was
That's
an
the
Australian
Herminator
reality series that followed former
Herman Cain,
couples
baby.
who have decided to give their relationship another try and let the whole world watch.
You're annoying me!
We all love to pry into folks' private lives, so it beats me why Back with the X got the axe so quickly. There are 4 couples in season 1 whose ages range from early 20s to 50s. Pretty cool if you ask me. It's unusual to see couples on shows like this that aren't just in their 20s. After the premiere underwhelmed with less than 500,000 viewers, the show was moved to the network's streaming service. Now you can see the show on Netflix, where it's gained a fan base that are crossing their fingers for an eventual season 2. This might be the only show on this list that has even a small chance at going from canceled after 1 episode to renewed for a season 2. Although that would probably be up to the original network, not Netflix, so
yeah, it doesn't seem very cool.
ABC's Dot Comedy tried to be the first US TV series to feature the humor of the internet. But the TV world just wasn't ready.
I bet it was
low
good.
ratings across the board, and the network decided it had seen enough, canceling the show right after its premiere. A newspaper article states that ABC has proven that nothing with .com in its name seems to be faring well these days. Yeah, when are these TV networks gonna learn? Dot Comedy was a remake of a UK show of the same name, and although I couldn't find any clips from the US one, there is a video on YouTube of the UK original. Within the first minute of this show, you get a visual of a photocopied dick and balls. Then they get into watching some video clips on the internet that at this point we've all seen a million times, but back in 2000 were truly revolutionary viral content. This show easily gets the Marty McFly award because if you fast forward 20 years, you'd see that reaction videos are being consumed by the
True.
You weren't wrong,
Whoa. That was
meta.
meta.
A Fox action series starring former football player Brian Bosworth as a badass motorcycle-riding private investigator in South Beach.
Get away from me, I'll shoot you. And they're too good to be stopped.
This show looks awesome.
What I just saw was awesome. Brian Bosworth is a college football
said.
Hall of Famer who had a career filled with controversies. So when he retired early and began a career in acting, it probably made a ton of sense to get a household name like the Boz into a role like this. The opening scene covers seriously every 90s action series trope, all within 2 minutes. It's straight up impressive.
This just isn't your lucky day.
Holy shit, this show looks amazing. Motorcycles, the Boz, explosions,
I guess the Boz's
tits,
bad boy reputation
ass?
wasn't enough to lift this lackluster show from the brink, and Fox failed on Lawless after just 1 episode.
This doesn't seem to be your lucky day.
Today, Brian Bosworth plays the sheriff in the Fansville series of Dr. Pepper commercials, which is easily an A-tier commercial series, so good for him. The Bussy Bunch was a 2008 TLC reality show about a family that operates a local professional wrestling organization in Texas. A modern-day Brady Bunch that run the biggest event in the heart of Texas. Which part of that sounds anything like the Brady Bunch? It centers on Cheryl and Michael Bussy, who each brought 3 children to the family when they got married, which I stand corrected, is totally like the Brady Bunch. The Bussy clan is struggling to keep their tight-knit family together while also keeping their business
sounds like the Bussys.
State that the immaturity exhibited by some of the grown children in the family makes the series more annoying than inspirational. The reality show didn't make it past the opening bell and was canceled after
the Bussy Bunch. Let's take a peek. Is that on YouTube? I'd love to see an episode. That was such a dangerous search. Holy shit. That didn't even occur to me for a second there. Hey, but we squeaked it out. We're good here. Wow, I really went for it, just completely mindlessly. Let's take a look at the Bussy Bunch.
Meet the Bussies.
There are 3 things that matter to the Bussies: God,
Let's say the prayer.
family, and wrestling.
This is professional championship wrestling.
Wrestling may be the family business.
We're losing money.
But dinner time?
Oh, crap.
Is the main event.
This looks great.
Welcome to the arena of real life.
If I had any hair, it'd be falling out.
The Bussy Bunch. A brand new series premieres Tuesday, January 22nd at 9, only on TLC.
Okay, can I see a clip? What's a Bussy? That's probably not from the show. Thanks to resub. Lando, True, and the 10 gift subs. Russ, goddamn man, you've been super generous today, man. Thank you. Thanks to gift sub Tabasco. Dude, I watched this like 15 years ago. How? Apparently it only aired 1 episode. Why did Nickelback's Animals come up when I looked up the Bussy Bunch? The fuck? How did that happen? Sounds about right. True, I guess.
after its 2-episode premiere night. Ahora la Mundial was a football talk show on Telecinco that was supposed to air after Spain's matches in the 2018 FIFA World Cup, but it was heavily criticized for relying on panelists that had zero affiliation to sports or sports journalism. I assume that the American version of this would be an NFL talk show hosted by James Corden.
I've never watched an NFL football game.
When Spain's former head coach heard details of the show, he refused to go on air via satellite. That major red flag was a sign of things to come. Telecinco dropped the show after the premiere faced negative responses and poor ratings. Spain would ultimately get eliminated in the round of 16. It just wasn't meant to be. Secret Talents of the Stars featured celebrities competing against one another in a talent show, revealing hidden talents that are unrelated to their professions. Viewers would then vote for the most talented celebrity during the episode, and the top two.
This seems like something that would have done well back in the day.
But plot twist, there would be no next episode. The premiere was a massive flop, causing CBS to nix the reality game show before a part 2 could ever.
Well, they obviously filmed the whole season. Why not play it?
A country song. Then this acid-washed Simon Cowell impersonator joked that he looked like one of the main characters in Brokeback Mountain. Takei, who is openly gay, handled this cringe moment with complete professionalism, later admitting in an interview to being offended.
You know, it's your voice that I think kind of sucked. You're gonna have to find a way to kind of de-suckify your voice.
Wow.
By the end, all of the judges unanimously agreed that the best performances were Clint Black and Maya, only for America's vote to come back with the winners of Sacha Cohen and Clint Black, illustrating a poetic disconnect between show and audience. Tier 3. Who's Who?
What show was that? Secret Talent of the Stars? Who was that judge? I've never seen that guy in my life. Let's see. Thanks to resub Juju and Yeet, and they give sub Zach. Looked like Christy Elia. That's what I initially thought too, but there's no way it was Christy Elia. Jerkoff McGee. Debbie Reynolds, Brian McKnight, and Gavin Pallone. So it's definitely Gavin Pallone. Oh, he was in Zombieland, the new one. Double tap. Who did he play in Zombieland? Must be like an extra or something. Oh, you're right. Producer. I just noticed. I thought he was an actor. Okay, so he's not really an actor. He is a producer. A Dog's Purpose, A Dog's Way Home, and A Dog's Journey. I always find animal movies to be so fucking sad. Ugh. Thanks to the big tier 2 Stevens. Thank you for that. And the resub. Dree and Juan. A Dog's Purpose was goated. Like, they're just sad, man. Like, they're cute and everything, but oh my god, they always have, like, anytime there's conflict in the movie, it's just so sad. I never watched Marley and Me, but I always knew that it had, like, a notoriously sad ending. I watched the ending like a week ago because I don't even remember how it came up in conversation, but Danny mentioned it was the saddest movie he ever saw. I watched the ending without seeing anything else, and it was fucking heartbreaking. Yeah, of course I watched Air Bud growing up.
Who's was a panel quiz show aired on CBS in 1951, featuring celebrity panelists who would have to figure out which of the 3 male contestants were married to which of the 3
dog died on. Oh, is that the movie that had the dog die on set? A Dog's Purpose? Yeah, they forced the dog to do a stunt that it wasn't equipped for and didn't want to do, and it died, right? Yeah, I'll look it up. I don't know why I'm asking chat. I'll just look it up. Footage depicting a dog appearing to nearly drown during an on-set stunt turned up on TMZ. Yeah, that's the video I remember seeing. Filmmakers swiftly dismissed the clip, claiming that it had been edited to look like the dog was in more danger than in reality, which sounds like something they would do for damage control. So did it actually die? I guess not. I thought it did. There definitely was a more recent movie where a dog died on set and it was a big deal. Snow Buddies? Well, that's an older one, but yeah, I knew that. Just search it. I don't even know what I would type in. Movie where dog died on set. It's awfully broad. Over 40 dogs and cats died on Milo and Otis. What is Milo and Otis? The Adventure of Milo and Otis. Holy shit. Sunday Mail reported at the time the Animal Liberation Queensland founder Jackie Kint alleged the killing of more than 20 kittens during production and added that she was disturbed by reports from Europe which alleged that other animals had been injured, as in one case where a producer had allegedly broken a cat's paw to make it appear unsteady on its feet. Other scenes that were the source of controversy were a scene of a cat falling off a cliff and trying to climb back up, and a scene of a pug fighting a bear, all of which were deleted from the American version. Kint said her organization had a number of complaints from people who had seen the film and were concerned that it had not been made without cruelty. The Tasmanian and Victorian branches of the RSPCA also alleged abuse. Jesus Christ. Is that like confirmed? Film was reported to have the approval of the American Humane Society despite not having their officers present during filming. They attempted to investigate the cruelty rumors through contacts in Europe who normally have information on movies throughout the world. While noting that the contacts had also heard the allegations, they were unable to verify them. So, as of now, it seems to be unconfirmed, but widely known. Snow Buddies killed 5 dogs, and Snow Dogs killed 15. I know Snow Buddies, kind of. If I remember correctly, and this is going... Well, actually, I've already spoiled it. Yeah, they took puppies that were way too young to be on set, and they died. Exit Tier 1 Giraffe in the Prime CRP and the Resub Nigel. This is a terrible rabbit hole. Yeah, I know. It all came from that one fucking guy. I already forgot what his name was. Oh, Gavin Pallone. Damn you. What about Cuba Gooding Jr.'s movie about sled dogs? Oh, that might have been the one that I was thinking of, not Snow Dog, or that guy was talking about, sled dogs. But that's Disney for you.
Intestines. Sounds like a perfectly fun concept. This is basically the premise of most cut videos on YouTube, and those do numbers. A lot would have had to go wrong to mess this up, and a lot did. For starters, as a budget-saving strategy, producers decided to try a new filming technique, combining recorded audio tapes and still photos, then flipping through the photos to simulate a motion picture. With every photo flip, reversing any advancements to the medium up to that point and landing all the way back to Muybridge's horse in motion. Behind the scenes, it was just as messy. They brought in a celebrity baseball player for the show who disappeared while backstage, and
Pumpkin and Tier 1 guitar.
They found him with an employee listening to a Yankee game on the radio. When he finally got on stage, the panelists still failed to correctly identify him and his wife. Critics kind of hated it, said the program was too cheap, the panelists sucked at the game, and the host looked uncomfortable. Maybe that last part was a result of the still photo strategy. If it was, I can relate. I've ruined every group photo I've ever been in. Some said the show was the worst ever to hit television and a miserable flop. Today, all footage of Who's Who's seems to have been lost, which is funny because technically there was never any footage, but I digress. And with this program, so did television. Originally a popular web series on MySpace, Quarter Life follows a group of artists who are coming of age in the digital generation.
Do they have Broken Side?
NBC acquired the rights to air Quarter Life after its first season climbed to become the 3rd highest viewed scripted series in MySpace history. The hope was this hit web series would hold down the fort for NBC during the 2008 writers' strike, but that online success did not end up translating for television. The show premiered during the Democratic primary debate between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Quarter Life's ratings were so bad, NBC announced that the series would be canceled after only 1 episode and aired the rest of the show on Bravo a couple weeks later. Thanks, Obama.
Well, hey, well, at least we got the rest of the show.
Claimed to be the only show in the world where there is no limit to how rich you can get. But Fox backpedaled on that real quick. The show was canceled 2 days after its premiere after rating poorly in comparison to its slot competitors Lost and Criminal Minds. Nobody's competing with Lost and Criminal Minds. The Rich List game concept was 2 teams in soundproof booths would be given a category like James Bond movies, and they would race to create as long a list of movies as possible. This review on IMDb said it was
awful.
One of the best game shows I have ever seen and was clearly written by a spouse of one of the producers. Folks claim online that it was canceled to get out of paying the contestants their winnings. I didn't find any confirmation on that, but I would never put something like that past a TV network. So I'll say the reason the Rich List was canceled was because it was the only show in the world where there is no limit to how rich you can get, and there is no way Fox would let that slide. Breaking Boston.
It's a
was
cool idea,
reality
though.
show
Imagine you just win
produced
like
by
fucking
Mark
$50 million.
Wahlberg for A&E in 2014 about 4 young women working to change their lives in the city of Boston.
We definitely became really good friends. Val is very outspoken, but she's also very real.
Why do they all sound like they were just pulled out of bed to do this? There is such a lack of
vocal fry, my man.
These clips.
Sometimes she doesn't have like that filter.
She says sometimes she doesn't have a filter, and then you cut to a clip of her just walking down the street. This is where you show her not having a filter.
Yeah, no, she's crazy. No, she's unhinged.
This
actually.
friend group has the most normal friendship. There isn't anything TV worthy in here. E, and I were all on the same page here because they stopped airing the series after the first episode and released the rest of them on their website later on. The first TV show in U.S. history to be canceled after one episode was the 1948 CBS variety show, The Dennis James Carnival, which featured singing, dancing, and comedy acts, all with the premise that the host, Dennis James, had inherited a carnival from his uncle and is just trying to keep the whole thing from falling apart. Dennis's efforts were all in vain, unfortunately, as reactions to the show were largely negative, and its sponsor, General Electric, wasn't a fan of being associated with the carnival part of the Dennis James Carnival. Plus, the show that followed it was also a vaudeville-like program called Toast of the Town, and Toast's sponsor, Emerson Radio, didn't think it was a good idea to have back-to-back shows of the same style, and they protested the whole thing. It goes to show that even 70 years ago, corporate entities would get in the way of creative works of genius. Sorry about your show, Dennis. Best of luck with
We just need more of the buzz.
Videos After Dark was a clip show based on America's funniest home videos, but with an adult twist. Basically, AFV had decades of archived home videos.
These are all really obscure now.
For that
but
show,
makes
so they
sense.
made
We're
a
in
new
tier
show
3.
Comedy legend Bob Saget, who originally hosted America's Funniest Home Videos, returned to ABC to host Videos After Dark as well. But this was doomed to fail before it even started. There was another show in Australia that did the exact same thing, taking an adult spin on Australia's funniest home video show and making
now it's called Ridiculousness, right?
Failure. It didn't even make it through one episode.
Well, not the Australian one.
Off the air partway through the premiere, which begs the question: what are we doing? Stop doing this show! The very first clip of Videos After Dark is a toddler eating what looks like poop out of their diaper. At least Videos After Dark made it all the way through its 2-episode premiere night. But
wait, and this show didn't do well?
Before the lights were shut.
You kidding
me?
me?
For why it was canceled after one episode, I don't know. ABC
I don't know either.
never made any mention of the show after its premiere, and even removed the 2 aired episodes from its website and Hulu. And there are 12 other episodes that have never been released. Tier 4. You're in the picture.
These are going to be way too obscure for me to know any. What did I say I was about to look up? I already fucking forgot now. Unlucky. There's poop on Ridiculousness all the time. Epic, I guess. I don't know. I haven't watched Ridiculousness in a long, long time. All right, the John Christian 2 speedrun. $39 minutes. Hey, let me know when it gets down to like 39 seconds. That is way too long for me to be speedrunning John Christian 2.